This was presented by Phoebe last week on the academic path for our children in Singapore. I'm just trying to milk it as much as we can today. We did it in class and now I'm doing for presentation. This is how the current school structured our students in the mainstream education system. So what Phoebe covered was the flaws that we get nowadays from our children. So because they are already being placed in such a predefined path where they will go after their primary 4, which is about the age of 10, right? So when I saw this last week, I was very affected, to be honest, because this was what happened in my years. We were also streamed at primary 4, primary 4 around that 8, 9, 10 years old. So we have similarly EM1, which is the best streaming, 2 and 3. After that, we get structured out to where we will end up eventually. So what happened was when I get to see Phoebe presented the earlier model, it sort of came to me that how can the government stereotype us seriously at such a young age, at age of 10, and it started to put us in our, where we will end up eventually and to take our future. How can the government be the source of creating such social gaps amongst our own people at that young age? So I grew up in this system unknowingly until I saw Phoebe's. I started to recall how it happened back in my days, and then you realize that our own people are being viewed by a coloured lens by our own government. Yeah. So I'm not saying that this system is bad. We are very good because we get a lot of international ranking at the top places. That includes being the most expensive country to live in for the 2nd time in a row. So, but the system is good because it sort of gave a good framework, a good framing for our people. But it also creates this specific mindset that a lot of dreams cannot be fulfilled, might not be able to fulfill in the end, if we get to know the system too early. So what I'm going to talk about today is how are we going to turn our dreams into goals. Of course, make sure that's relatively achievable. You can't be superman, like someone similar can fly a plane, be pilot. So I'm sure everybody had childhood dreams, and mine was to be a lawyer when I was in primary 1. To the influences of TV. When lawyers speak up for their clients, they protect the innocents, they put the criminals behind bars. So this was my dream because of TV. I wanted to be a lawyer at about age of 6. Then my mother would tell me that, she would just keep reminding me at the back of my brain that you're not as smart as your peers. You're not as smart as my younger brother. He's really clever. He can memorize text in like this. So spelling wasn't an issue. For me, I have to memorize the same thing for 1 whole week. Just 10 characters, 10 words. So it's really tough for me, and she has to just keep reminding me that you're not as clever. So you have to do harder. You're not as clever, you have to do harder. And to her, I would be lucky if I can get a degree, a university degree. Really. So this was how my mother saw me. Based on my system, I'll go to primary 2, at EM2. I'll stream probably to Express and end up in Polytechnic. And this was the worst case scenario, like what Minister Call would say. So I may go to normal, academic, stream either to Poly or IT at first. And what IT explained by Phoebe last week was, indeed, it's the end for a lot of people, right? Because, yeah. But I think I was pretty lucky. In the midst of my 6 years of studies in primary school, I did had a loss in my interest of books and readings. I do not want to carry on because every time I do bad, I would tell myself that I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I will do bad anyway. So it's okay. I just play. Forget about studying. I will end up here anyway. I will go to university. So, but I was lucky, quite lucky, because at about primary 3, that's about 9 years old, my form teacher, my English teacher, saw the need to help me. So she took up extra time, extra effort beyond her teaching hours, sit down with me face to face and coach me for all my subjects. What were the mistakes I made? everything. English, maths, science, and no, there wasn't science yet. It's elementary, and Chinese. So she'll go through everything. She's a Chinese, by the way. So she can speak Chinese and speak English. So she'll go through everything, one to one. So I was very appreciative because in the end, she brought my interest back to study, and I was thinking maybe I'm not that bad. Maybe I'm not that bad. So I tried harder, and fast forward a little, by the end of the 6 years, PSLE, that's 12 years old, I streamed in, as expected, I went to Express, but my mom predicted correctly lah. So now it's whether here or here, JC or Poly. So which route would bring me to university? So not too bad. I got to Express stream, but I started to change my perception of dream. I wanted no longer to be a lawyer because I realized I can't speak English properly. I can't articulate properly. Back then, I had a lot of problems because I came from a Chinese-speaking family. So my mom can't speak English properly. My dad can't. So it's just me and my brother. Nobody practices with me, either me or television and me. So so I can't speak properly. So in the end, I got a lot of influence on TV. I wanted to be doing something in the media industry, actor, singer, dancer, whatever, but I'm not quite sure. I couldn't make up my mind. So it could be because of the glamorous lifestyle the actors and actresses, the artists are living in, the fame, the recognition, the dream to be a star basically. And my mother will again repeatedly remind me that I should be pursuing something that's more realistic, more viable, something stable, desk-bound job, bring a stable income home. I shouldn't be dreaming about being an artist, it's not realistic, blah blah blah. She'll argue that artists have a very short career lifespan. They will end about age of 30 or 40, and then they will become the sidekicks in dramas, mothers and fathers character. So I was thinking, okay, then I shall work harder and see if I can get myself here into junior college. So I worked very hard. I got myself into pure science stream, which is triple science, I think 3 pure sciences and 2 maths. And I killed myself. I couldn't cope. I really couldn't cope for 2 years. Set 3 and set 4, my maths were like rock bottom. Upon 100, I get 30 off. I can never pass on maths. And my sciences were like in the borderline case, 50s, 40s, 50s kind of thing. So it was very demoralizing, but I don't believe that I will end up somewhere. What if I couldn't get into Polytechnic and ITE? What if? So I was like, okay, I cannot stop trying. I must bite the bullet and go ahead for the O level. So study. Even though I knew that it was a little bit too late, it was a wrong decision to get into pure science, but it's too late, basically. I couldn't change the track anymore. So I was working very hard for junior college, but in the end, I got into Polytechnic when O levels were released, and most of my classmates went to junior colleges because a pure science stream, they are known to be able to study it academically inclined students. So, well, my mom was quite right lah. I ended up in Polytechnic, so that probably could be end of my academic journey. I will be in the society working and supporting the family. But I wasn't sure if this was right, and my dream changed. I want to be a radio DJ. Finally, I decided to be in the radio because I realized that I can't act, I can't sing, I can't dance. I look like crap, not on TV. So behind the scene in radio, maybe possible. So that sums up my young days until the age of 16. And if I were to really follow what the government predicted, and my mom's prediction, I would end up in Polytechnic. I wouldn't be able to be standing here and talking to you. So very unlikely to get a degree, but my new goal is to become a DJ. I get into Polytechnic and I couldn't get into Mass Comm. And back in my days, the only school that offers Mass Comm diploma was Ngee Polytechnic. And I can't enter because my English sucked. Literally. I have pronunciation problem, I have vocab problem, grammar issues. So it's very hard for me to get into that diploma, but really in Singapore, DJ, you don't need to speak English. We have Chinese station, but I'm not sure why they stereotype us this way. So I speak very good Chinese actually, but whatever. So I got myself to a diploma in information technology. Basically, I will end up probably as an IT technician, the guy at level 2 probably loaning you the devices, whatever not, or doing software programming, junior software programmer. But when I was, that would probably give me what my mom would wanted, a stable desk-bound job. But when I was going to graduate, I realized that the market was bad. Because suddenly the government took in a lot of foreign talents, a lot of foreign programmers came from India and China, and if I'm not wrong, Indonesia. And that literally killed my career path. I would really end up somewhere doing something in the IT industry, not of my passion or not what I've studied at all. So I was thinking, how? I'm dead. And I started to flip the classifieds in Straits Times and realized that there's this weird title called corporate communication. I'm not sure what is it actually. So I was trying to read every posting and found out that corporate comms actually deal with media liaison. They do public relations, press releases, etc., and reports. So quite near to a media job. I'm not there, but I'm somewhere there, quite near to media. And these people also produce collaterals. So a job for someone who is like creative, has the eye for design, has a flair for it, So okay, I changed my dream. Maybe I shall work towards something close to media, but it's not there, corporate communication. So quite near to my original dream. But I realized that in every posting they needed something. They needed a degree in mass communication. Then I told myself, I'm screwed. I can't get it from polytechnic to university, because at that point of time to enter Weeking Wee or NTU, the prestige school to take in mass comm students, they only take in students from JC, junior college, or selected small bandwidth of students from Ngee Poly who offered diploma in mass communication. So there's no way I can get here. There's no way I tried, honestly. I sent in applications, appeals, and no. There's a no-no every time I try, every time I fail. So I do not want to conform to this structure that the government placed me in. So, and I don't believe this is the end, really. So what we have in Singapore nowadays, since my years, we have private university, SIM, PSB, MBIS, etc., a lot of it, which they actually work with overseas universities to get degrees for students who can't enter the mainstream university, the government university. So I don't want to stop my education, so I tried to work towards corporate communication. How? I enrolled to private university by paying off a lot of things. So I was a part-time student in SIM, working in the day, studying at night, like right now. So all my salaries go to my school fees. The channels there. I have not much of savings. Don't talk about savings. I don't even have entertainment, for goodness sake. So not too bad. My grades were okay, quite decent. I have distinctions, not bad. So I'm not that stupid. Then I realized that once I graduated, I had problems finding jobs in corporate comms because I was fresh from the market, even though I had been working. I have no background in communications, but goodness, thank goodness, my company right now that I'm working for took me in, so I managed to get myself a work in corporate comms. Finally. So, not bad. So, I sort of changed my dream to a goal, and I worked towards it in the end. So it's still achievable. So that proved three things. Number one, I'm not that stupid. I'm just a late bloomer. Right? And two, you can actually derail from the standard education system and still achieve a degree if you work hard enough and if you really want to do it. Right? And you can change dream to goal, like what I did, and everything comes in full circle. I'm not in media directly, but I'm part of it, where I work with media nowadays. Okay. So, I think before we conclude this whole presentation, this whole talk, as a father right now, I have a son, 5 months plus, So I'm quite concerned because when I was having lunch with my managers and basically I work with a team of mothers, everybody have children. I'm the only man there. So I haven't had a father. So they were all complaining to me that the schools are too competitive. Primary school, secondary school. The teachers, like what Phoebe presented last week, are giving the parents distress. Not the children, they're giving the parents, so that the parents will stress the children. So the children are too stressed up, basically. And it's not just the parents giving the children stress, the children are giving themselves stress because they are now cross-comparing with their peers. So my manager was just telling me that, I think last week, that her son was telling her if she wants him to go for a class that the school is sponsoring, and if by him going there, will my boss be happy? Because his friends are all going. So now they're all comparing because my friends are going. I'm sure you'd be happy if I go, right? You know, this kind of sentiments is quite scary. So by placing the children in such a finely tiered system at a young age, will it really work? It worked back then, but now in current society, will it still work when everybody is now so educated? Right? And do we really need to give children that kind of stress level? And if you do that, will you turn their goals to dreams, and it's literally a dream that they can only dream about and not really achieve it? So for parents in the class, or for young parents, I'm not sure if I'm the only young parent here, or if you're going to have children in the future, please encourage your child, to dare to dream for what they want to achieve in the future, and walk with them hand in hand and guide them to their dreams, to achieving their dreams, because you really do not want to see them end up at the age of 30, 40s, midlife crisis, and sit on their couch and realize that, what am I wondering? What have I been doing my whole life? What if I have done something differently? And what else could have happened? What if I've done this that I wanted to start out with originally? Thank you.